In beginning any beard services, I always want to make sure that I comb through the hair so that I can recognize any natural hair growth patterns that might come into play once I want to create, or once I create that desired shape that the client would like. Beginning from the chin, going towards the jawline, I'm creating my line of demarcation to make it easier for me to see exactly what it is that I'm cutting, and not using a T-liner, because the more I use a T-liner, the more I feel like it's going to irritate the skin. So using my machine to be able to, again, put the line of demarcation, but also I can freehand and make it easier for me to see exactly what needs to be cut. Going to the back of the ear, going from the back of the jawline, going towards the arch of the ear, makes it easier for me to see exactly what and how I'm going to create that line, keeping it very natural and classic. Going from the side of the mouth, going up towards the temple, I'm creating my guideline so that way on my dominant side, which I'm working in, I can do the same exact thing going on to my non-dominant side. In the beginning, I started combing through the hair to recognize any natural growth patterns that I needed to be aware of, and here I have somewhat of a whirl. So what I'm doing is doing a little bit of clipper over comb and creating that nice clean shape. Going into my non-dominant side, I'm going to start at the chin where I began on my dominant side, and I'm going to use that guideline to go from the chin towards the other side of the jaw, keeping the symmetry very clean and natural. And that way, once he gets up or once he sees it in the mirror, he's going to see that it's symmetrical, and it's easier for him to see exactly the shape that we created, and both sides are the same. Once I'm done with that, again, I'm going to go to the back of the jaw and create a nice clean line, going from the back of the jaw towards the arch of the ear. As I began, or as I stated in my dominant side, I'm using the side of the mouth going towards the temple. Again, symmetry is the big factor once we're creating these beards. And if it's not symmetrical, then, sometimes these beards get very tricky. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to grab my Maverick beard oil, and what that's going to do, it's going to add a little bit more manageability towards that beard. So once I start to comb through it, I'm able to see any stray hairs that need to be cut, whether it's going to be with freehand or I'm going to use the scissors. Using the Maverick blade slip, it actually creates a nice clear coat, and what it does is it hydrates the skin, and it's able to, or it helps me create a nice clean line. Once I use it, I use a straight razor to stamp in that line very nice and clean. Stretching the skin, making it easier for me to cut and get most of that hair off that skin without causing any irritation. Doing the same thing on my non-dominant side, starting from the temple towards the mouth. I'm not creating a line, I am just copying the line that I created with my T-liner. Using my scissors to take any stray hairs off, and I'm freehanding more so on that side, and also using my machine. So you can either use the machine if you're more comfortable, or you can use your scissors. I'm going on to my non-dominant side and doing the same thing, cleaning everything up, making sure all of it is nice and clean. Now we're at the mustache, and once we cut that mustache, what I'm doing is combing the hair down to its natural progression and going from the top of the lip, creating a nice clean line. We don't want to go too high with this, because then they're going to end up going with more of a pencil look, or more of a very skinny mustache. And in this case, we want it to be very, nice and clean and more natural. So using the machine, kind of like you can kind of notice it's more so like a pencil, and I'm using the corners and the edges of that machine. Once I'm done creating a nice clean line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of clipper over comb to match the mustache into the beard, so it looks very natural. And again, it just doesn't have any hair sticking straight up or into his nose or into his mouth. Doing the same thing on my non-dominant side, going with my clipper over comb, using my machine, and lifting up the lever, going down little by little or a little bit higher so that I can cut down. Using the Maverick cooling aftershave, what this does is it soothes the skin from any irritations or anything that may have been caused by the T-liner or the straight razor. And now we're going to go into our Maverick beard and lotion, and this is going to help me create, and it's going to help me set in that shape that I created with the desired look that the client wanted. And here is a shape that we created, and here is the beard.